Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be transplanting a service berry. I just found this on Facebook Marketplace as free. They were tired of mowing around a number of shrubs and trees, and this happened to be one of them. So I quickly messaged them back and told them that I would love to come and get it. I'm working on getting a longer hose for out here. This is a 100-foot hose currently, and I have to get a 50-foot extension that we have just laying around. I really need to invest in another 100-footer, but for right now, this is doing it. Still, this does not fully reach the area that I'm working in, so I do have a bucket that I fill up that I'm able to drench the plants that I'm working with at the time. So now that it's hooked up, I'm just going to go ahead and attach my wand, start filling up that bucket, and get to working on digging out the hole for the new service berry. So this is a new area that we've been working on in the back right corner of our garden. This is a future fire pit area, if you couldn't tell. This area naturally sloped down, and we built the retaining wall, which I'm standing on, out of some reclaimed stone that we got from his sister that she was taking out of her yard, which took like 3 trailer loads to get over, and this was the last bit of it. We still have some stone to use for maybe a small itty bitty section of something or another, or to tie the look in elsewhere, but we used it all on this and we absolutely love how it came out. So right now I'm just making sure that I have a good wide area for this root ball, which I'll show you here in a minute. It doesn't look very big, but it actually took up quite a bit. I had to reassess the area. The main thing is just don't make it too deep. So this is what I was able to get out of the service berry to get it moved. You can see it's bound up. And then the first thing I did was go ahead and cut it. You can leave it bound until you get it into position and backfilled, but I really wanted to see the shape of the tree to know which area I want it facing out. I got lucky with this one. It is a double trunk. It does have a number of small little shoots coming up, but I'm just going to leave it at 2 trunks as of right now. It took me a minute to get the twine out, but I did it. Now I am going to be just placing it in the hole and starting the backfill. This tree was actually pretty heavy considering. So I am 5'10", and when I messaged the lady about this tree, I asked her how tall it was so I knew if I could take my car or if I had to take the truck at the time. And she said, oh, it's about 5 foot. Well, she clearly didn't go out and stand by it because she's the same height as me, and this tree is every bit of, I'd say, 10 foot at its highest point, which is pretty awesome because service berries grow pretty slow. So now I'm just going in and assessing some of the branches. I want to make sure there's nothing crossing. As you know, the tree was sitting out in the field, and frankly, it was never, properly pruned on or maintained. So it was up to me to take out any crossing branches and to make sure that there was enough airflow and that the branches weren't rubbing on each other to cause any future problems or diseases. I'm really excited about having these natives in my yard because they attract a lot of birds when they do set their berries. And the fall color on these are absolutely stunning. It's very important to make sure that you continuously walk around and assess the tree. It's best to take off a little bit and then come back in and take off more as you need. So that's the last branch. I did look at a few more, but I really decided that was enough. So here it is in its setting, and then I got the message that I was pretty shocked about. She said she had another one out in the field she was willing to get rid of, so I immediately jumped in the truck because the last one just barely fit in my car. I mean, it was hanging out all the way home, but this one I was gonna throw in the back of the truck to make it easier. This soil was also extremely tough, a lot harder than the other one was, so it took me a little bit longer to get this one out. I will tell you, if you're going to dig out and transplant, it's best to do it on a really nice cool day. It was just maybe 74 degrees, and make sure you dig a wide hole and be respectful of the person's yard. Really took a lot to get in this one. This one was really in there. And yes, it is very much alive. It has a ton of new growth tips on it, just stressed from all the drought we've had. There was one root that was holding it in still that I didn't see. So as I tried to take it out of the ground, I did have to get in there and get that root free, which just took some more tugging. Needless to say, I was pretty happy to have gotten that out. She had a beautiful shape and couldn't wait to get her home. This lady also had a number of adorable dogs, and you'll see the one named Red right here. So I'd already marked this area out with a stake because I wanted to make sure that the trees were equal amounts of distance apart visually. Eventually they will touch, probably in another, I don't know, 10 years maybe, but for now they look really, really good apart at the distance I have them. I want to say they're roughly about 10 to 12 feet apart. These do get 15 to 20 feet tall and wide when they do get to the mature height. But this one, I think this one was just a little bit bigger than the one we had just planted, but they both look amazing over here. I'm just going around the edges because my hole wasn't wide enough, but it was the perfect depth. Just want to make sure that all the roots are in the ground and not going back up. They're, level with where they were so that the tree gets stable. Just so everybody has a time reference, I did do this just 2 days ago from the upload of this video. This is really a good time to do transplanting of anything. It will give it some time to get in. It is good to use some, biotone, that type of stuff, some root stimulants if you have them around. I used a little bit on the first tree, but I didn't have any for the second tree. But the second tree did have a much larger root ball than the first one did. And then make sure you're watering every day. This is being shot. Actually, it had just rained that morning, so the ground was really moist. I still watered it in really, really well. And then from there, I went in and just dumped a whole bucket of water in there to make sure there was no air pockets. And then the next day it did rain. So here we go. These guys will frame out the view here. And then I need to start edging out these beds and getting them situated. Next is to cover up that compost bin. I've got a few plants in mind for there and some more landscaping, so check back in soon. Thanks guys.